Hello, everybody, and welcome to December 1st. Trips and Traps. I'm Andy Serling, joined by Eric Donovan.
And we have 6 races to bring you all together in 2 separate segments. Let's get things rolling here with the 8th race from November 23rd. We're going to take a look at the number 4 horse, Lynette.
Yeah, there isn't any substantial trips, per se. You're not going to see any horses steadying or getting into real trouble in this race, but it's more about how the track was playing and sort of how these horses raced as far as how the race is set up. Now, Lynette is lapped on the 3 there. You can't really see her. You can sort of see the rider behind the 3, outside of the 3. And Lynette, as you see, just dropping back in here. And my feeling was that Lynette, and I had liked her in this race, and this isn't a whine about it, or you can perceive it whatever you want, but I feel as though the rail was not the place to be on the 23rd with the rain. And Lynette was badly compromised by spending almost the entire race, especially the important parts, on the rail.
Well, here comes about the important parts now. And up to this point, I'd say Lynette maybe in a 3 path, but yeah. Rider's going to take Lynette down toward the inside here. And it's just tough to get, a head of steam going when you think that the rail is not the place to be and you're trying to close on the rail. It just makes it very tough. You got to not only make up ground, but overcome the track as well.
Yeah, no, I agree with that completely. It seemed that you cut the corner and there's an illusion when they come in the stretch that, cut the corner, got right in there, it was a good move. And in theory, it's a good move, but if the rail is deep as it was, and you watch the races on the 23rd, and I think you'll understand what I'm saying. It's funny, the 9th race winner came up the rail. I'm not sure that horse wouldn't have won by 5 lengths if it hadn't come up the rail. And it was a situation where it just wasn't the right place to be. And Lynette, she was getting a good setup also in here, and it was the right field, but I think that she's a little bit of a hidden horse, a Bill Mott horse that I have to think he's leaving here for the winter. She's not a superstar. He's leading horse here for the winter. I think she's on the upswing, has had 2 straight trips, one a big wide trip when you might have wanted to have been towards the inside in the mud, and this time on the inside when you probably wanted to be wide.
Yeah, so it's been a tough go the last couple of times out for Lynette. We'll see what she can do next time out. Certainly looks like she was, closing with some interest down on the rail there, and would like to see what would happen if she was, a couple pass out.
I totally agree.
All right, move on to our second race from the first segment here, and this is race number 1 from November 24th. We're going to take a look at Whatever It Takes, number 7 horse, who makes a kind of a wide move into a slow pace.
Yeah, this was bad dynamics the whole way around. And first of all, with Whatever It Takes, who isn't a speed and was turning back, you'll see that broke a little bit slowly, maybe a length or so slow, and sort of out of position. But also, it's hard with the 6.5 furlong races, Eric, to judge the paces because we use different poles. So if you only run 1 in a day, you could run only 1 in 2 weeks. We could have run 1 6.5 all the Hackman main track meeting, for all I know. But looking at the other paces, this seems like an excruciatingly slow pace.
Well, you could just see how the field's kind of grouped on the front end. I mean, you got 2.5 lengths from 1st to 6th here, and you see the 7 Whatever It Takes toward the outside there, the gray, and just a tough spot to be in here for the rider. You just you're in a catch-22. If you're going down toward the inside and taking back, well, you might get steadied out. You might lose some more ground. You might just never be able to get into the race. So the rider decides to put Whatever It Takes into the race here, and you got to overcome this 4-wide trip into a slow pace.
Yeah, it's an impossible trip. It's actually almost 5 wide here because you can see that horse sticking its nose there. And also, remember, this is the first race on Thursday, and the rail hadn't been good the day before. So, listen, the rider, maybe he's also trying to be in the right part. And the bottom line is, the favorite wires the field in the inside. This horse who was near the pace ends up finishing 2nd. That horse who was near the pace finishes 3rd. And Whatever It Takes just was badly hampered. Whatever It Takes was dropping down and turning back. So this was kind of the right spot to like him. The race just set up really badly for him. And listen, he is who he is, and his form has declined somewhat. But I think that his form will look worse coming out of this race than perhaps it is, because in my mind, he ran a much better race than it looks like on paper.
Yeah, I mean, when you dissect the pace and the wide trip, I mean, really, he had no shot.
No, he really did have no shot. And perhaps he'll get in a more comfortable spot next time. And also, this is, we just had the 1 day of the Inner, and that was yesterday. But judging by the races we ran on opening day on the Inner, this Inner course is very, very fair.
Mm-hmm. We'll see, weather plays a big part in that a lot of the time, so we hope Mother Nature cooperates and we get some nice days here in December. We'll move on to our last race of the first segment here. This is the 4th race from Thanksgiving Day, and we're going to take a look at 6 Flings, a horse who was getting a trainer change this afternoon to Mike Hushin.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do with 6 Flings going forward, but the interesting thing about this race was the 6 Flings found himself on the lead. He's just not a horse you would expect to be on the lead in this race, and it was a very contentious pace, even though the field essentially bunched. But as you'll see, a horse who's sitting way back in there, left the screen, the gray, ends up finishing a close 3rd at a very big price in here. This was a trainer change, as you said. The other thing is, I don't think Six Flings is a real miler. I think he's more of a 6 to 7 type. And also, as we'll see in the stretch, once he's beaten, Corey Nakatani was riding him, he sort of wraps up on him, and it looks like he's does worse than he could have done. And it's not because he wasn't finishing fourth, he just wasn't going to abuse him late in the race.
Yeah, he's toward the outside here now on the lead here. And, Six Flings, a horse that, for his previous trainer, when he'd been right and in the right spots, he's been okay. He's run some decent races here, and I think you make a good point that, going long here, being on the lead, just not what he's accustomed to, and he's probably better off turning back to a sprint race where he can get a little bit of a pace in front of him. I just wonder, off the trainer change, if Mike changed a couple things around and he was just a little bit sharper in this race, and this will serve as a good tune-up for a cutback in distance.
I think all of those things may very well be true, and that's why I like him going forward. I have to think that Mike is going to turn him back. He's not going to run this horse in a two-turn race, and you'll see as he's between horses here in the two-path right now. Just take a look at him and watch him as they get to the 8th pole, and you'll see once he's beaten, Nakatani doesn't abuse him, which is a good thing. But I just think Mike will turn him back, and he gets into a fair spot. And it's also, Eric, it's not as though he's pace compromised. It's not like he's so slow in a 6-furlong race that he needs there to be a fast pace. I think he can be reasonably forwardly placed, that he won't be an absolute victim. And in that case, I think he's a horse that's kind of dirtied up.
I agree. And you see just where the top 3 finishers are at the wire, where they were at the top of the stretch. They were all behind the pace there. So not only were things a little bit different here for Six Flings, but the race dynamic itself didn't set up for him either.
Yeah, he didn't. He had everything go wrong. And he might be a horse that's just better than he looks. And that's sort of the theme of this segment. Well, the inner has started. We have ideas, but I'm sure you have ideas, and we'd love to get your help. Trips and traps at NYRAinc.com.
Come on back for the second segment.